Good afternoon everybody. Dear student, today also we are going to start a new topic called covalent compound. So, yesterday you have learnt and studied about the chemical bond, and in chemical bond you have studied about the ionic bond, ionic compound, what are their characteristics and how the ionic bond are formed between the atoms. Okay. So, just to remind, ionic bond is formed between two atoms having opposite charge on them, one metal and another non-metal. Okay. So, that we have discussed yesterday, and the bond between them is very much strong, that is due to the electrostatic force between them which is acting, which is holding them together. But now today we are going to learn about covalent bond. The term itself is saying the valency is cooperated between two elements. They are not transferring their electrons to the different atom to one another, but instead of that they are mutually sharing electron between them to have a bond between them, and that bond which exists between them is called intermolecular force, and that intermolecular force is slightly weaker as compared to that of the bond or the force which is found in the ionic compound or ionic bond. Okay. So, what is covalent bond? Okay. The question, what is covalent bond, or what do you understand by the covalent bond? The chemical bond which is formed by mutual sharing. Okay. That is, mutual sharing means both of them are contributing equal number of electrons with each other to have a bond or a unity to make a compound stable. Okay. So, the chemical bond which is formed by mutual sharing of electrons between two atoms is called covalent bond. So, that is, they are sharing either one electron with each other, or two electron with each other, or three electron with each other. Okay. According to their requirement to fulfill their valency or the octet configuration. Okay. Octet configuration, how they will do? By sharing. So, this type of bond is due to sharing of electron. So, those compound which are formed due to the presence of covalent bond between the atoms is known as the covalent compound. Okay. So, covalent compound means those compound which are formed by covalent bond, and as I have already told that this bond, that is intermolecular force of attraction which held them together, it is not that much strong. Okay. So, what happened? This compound which are formed between two non-metals. Okay. This compound are formed between two non-metals means those elements which are having electronic configuration, and in the valence shell if they are having 5, 6, 7, generally they are non-metal. They all are non-metal because the element which requires 3 electron, 2 electron and 1 electron respectively, they are known as non-metal. Okay. So, they will acquire negative charge on them. Okay. They will acquire when they will carry electrons to them, they acquire negative charge. So, they are called non-metal, but when this non-metal they will go under grouping, then they will form a covalent bond, and that bond, after formation, the new compound or the molecule will be formed. They will be termed as the covalent compound or molecule which are formed by covalent bond. Okay. For example, if you see hydrogen, hydrogen is diatomic element. Okay. It is called diatomic element. You may know that diatomic element means when they exist in nature, they cannot exist as an atom like H. H as a atom, like a single hydrogen atom, cannot exist in the nature, but it can be only found in when two hydrogen atom come closer to each other and they are found in the same form as of H2. So, this is diatomic element. So, like that, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen are the diatomic element, and also the example of the element which are formed by the covalent bond. Okay. Water molecule is a compound. So, here H2O2 N2, they will be termed as a molecule, or they are formed by the covalent bond. Okay. Now, as we have studied yesterday, the ionic compound, they are found in solid state, and they are very much strong, and I have explained you due to what? Due to the bond which is existing between them is very much strong. They are holding them together. Okay. So, but in case of covalent bond, the atoms are, or the element are joined together with each other with a much weaker type of force as compared to ionic bond. So, they have low melting and boiling point. Okay. They are slightly free to move here and there. So, due to which less amount of energy is necessary to break their bonding. Okay. And we know that energy and temperature are related with each other. Okay. Directly related with each other. That is why covalent bond is weaker bond, weaker bond means they can be easily splitted up into other element. So, they have low melting and boiling point. And another point is that they do not conduct electricity. As I have already told, they do not possess any charge. Okay. This compound, there is no transfer of electrons between the atoms. Okay. There is no transfer of electrons between the atoms. So, due to which there is no formation of charge, and we know that charge is necessary to transfer electrons from one point to another to conduct electricity. That is, rate of flow of charge is called electricity, and if there is no charge, there is no involvement of charge or in the formation of the covalent compound, we will find they are bad conductor of electricity, or what we can say, they do not conduct electricity. Okay. And another property or the characteristic of covalent compound is that they are insoluble in water. So, water is polar substance, okay, polar compound, and our covalent compound are non-polar. So, they do not mix with each other and they form a layer. Okay. And another characteristic or the properties of covalent compound is that they are found in both in all the state, that is solid, liquid and gaseous state in room temperature also. Okay. So, and last characteristic of the covalent compound is that they do not contain metal in them. So, already metal is not present in them. So, they are formed by the non-metal atom. Two non-metal atom, when they combine, they form a What type of bond? Covalent bond, and that compound which are formed are known as the covalent compound. Okay. So, same thing let us see in the slide. Okay. So, please concentrate on the slide. So, covalent bond, which is also known as covalency, means by showing the covalency, the chemical bond which is formed by mutual sharing of electron, sometime one electron, sometime they will share more electrons, that is why they are called electrons, between two atoms is called covalent bond. Okay. And in this type of valency is called covalency. So, in this for bond formation, what type of valency they will show, their valency is known as covalency. Okay. And if one pair of electron are shared, it is called single covalent bond. If two pair of electron are shared, it is called double covalent bond, and if they will share three pairs of electron between two atoms, then they will be called as the triple covalent bond. So, we will discuss it again. And other point is those compound which are formed by covalent bond are called covalent compound. Okay. So, covalent compounds. So, example, those element molecule or the compound which are formed by the covalent bond or the covalent bond compound, example are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, water, H2O. Okay. Here hydrogen and oxygen both are non-metal. Similarly, carbon dioxide. So, carbon is also non-metal, oxygen is also non-metal. So, in carbon dioxide, okay, carbon has the valency 4 and oxygen has the valency 2, and to meet the valency of carbon 4, to make it octet, 2 electron of each oxygen is shared between the carbon atom. Single carbon atom is sharing 2 electron of one oxygen atom and 2 electron of other oxygen atom to form a carbon dioxide. Okay. Similarly, hydrochloride, HCl, hydrochloric acid, and NH3, CH4, C2H4, C2H6, etc. So, these are the example of covalent compound. Okay. Now, next slide. So, in next slide you are studying about the characteristic of covalent compound. Okay. So, if you see there, the covalent compound have low boiling and melting point. Okay. So, by looking it you can write, okay, this answer, why the reason may be asked. Okay. This is the only hint is given to you. You can write in your own words also if you have a concept. So, covalent bond have weak intermolecular forces. So, the bond which is holding them together by a force, and that force is called intermolecular force. The force existing between two molecules, okay, is called intermolecular forces, and that is to say the forces between covalent bond have weak intermolecular force. Okay, and it is very weak, due to which what will happen, the consequence of this is that it becomes easy to move molecule, okay, individual molecule away from other molecule, as the bonding between the molecule is weak, hence it needs little energy to break. So, to break the covalent compound very less energy is necessary, and we know that temperature is proportional to energy. That means, the temperature required to melt the compound is low. That is why they have low boiling and melting point. Okay. And second characteristic is that they do not conduct electricity. So, similarly, the answer may be the similar. In order to conduct electricity, a compound must have free flowing electrons. So, that we have learned in lower classes also. If there is no free electrons to carry the charge from one point to another, then there will not be any flow of electricity. So, but covalent compound are formed on the basis of sharing electron. Okay, they are sharing electrons. When the electrons are shared within the bonds, there are no electrons available. So, there is no formation of electron or charged ions, that means they do not have any free electrons available to conduct electricity. Hence, covalent compounds are generally poor conductor of electricity. Okay. Now, in next slide, another property or characteristic of covalent compound. Third characteristic is that they are insoluble in water, but soluble in organic solvents. Okay. So, insoluble in water, why? So, when covalent compound dissolve in water, they break apart into molecules. Okay. They break down, by which they are made up of, the individual atoms by which they are made up of. Okay. They will be broken down into a separate identity, and water is a polar solvent. Water is polar solvent, but covalent compound are usually non-polar. What happens? They are non-polar compound. Okay. Covalent compound are non-polar, whereas water is a polar. So, due to this, what happens? They typically do not dissolve in water, instead making a separate layer on the water surface. And another property is they are found in all the three states, that is solid, liquid and gaseous state. So, the covalent compound are formed by sharing of electrons between the atoms having similar electronegativities, means similar electronegativity, they are come together. So, hence the bonds are weak, so they can exist in all three states. Okay. And last characteristic is that they do not contain metal to them. Okay. Now, look at the board. So, this all we have covered. Now, remaining portion is covalent compound are of different types. Okay. They are of different types, as already little bit we have discussed. They are of different types, whether they are sharing one electron with each other, or two electron with each other, or three electron with each other. So, on that basis they are classified as single covalent bond, double covalent bond and triple covalent bond. Okay. So, if you look there, single covalent bond. So, first type of bond that we are going to study is single covalent bond. So, single covalent bond means the bond formed by sharing of pair of two electron. So, sharing of a pair of electron, that is two electron between two atoms, one electron is they are sharing with each other as a whole, then they will be called as single covalent bond. Okay. The bond in which each atom contribute one electron to form a bond, that is known as single covalent bond, and they are represented by single dash sign. Okay. Between single dash sign, example water and chlorine. Okay. For example, if you look at here how they are formed. Okay, covalent bond, like single covalent bond, right? We know that hydrogen atomic number 1. Okay, we can represent its outermost shell as suppose this is atom. Okay, and in the nucleus there is one electron in the valence shell of hydrogen, and it requires one more electron to be stable. Okay, it requires another one electron to be stable to get duplet electronic configuration. Now, another hydrogen is also there. Okay, another hydrogen is also there. It also has one electron in its valence shell. Now, what will happen? They come close to each other and they will share. Okay, these two electron with each other. Okay. Now, we can represent it like this. Okay. We can say this hydrogen atom, this hydrogen atom, this hydrogen atom of this compound and this compound. Okay. Sorry, not compound, atom, sorry. This atom, hydrogen atom and this hydrogen atom. So, they will join together these electrons, one of this hydrogen atom and another of this hydrogen atom, they are sharing with each other, then they this as a hydrogen atom, they will share this electron, and we can say this hydrogen, I can write here H H. Okay, this bond one electron, this another one electron, so they are sharing with each other. So with this, what will happen? This both two electron is of hydrogen and this both two electron is of hydrogen. In this way, both the duplet electronic configuration of hydrogen is completed. In this case also hydrogen duplet is completed. Okay, so if this electron, in this case both two electron belongs to this hydrogen atom and both this electron belongs to this hydrogen atom, so as a whole this hydrogen atom is written as HH, or we can write it as H2. So in this way single covalent bond is formed. Okay, so in this in simple manner, how we can show by dot structure, H dot, this is also S dot, they come close to each other, they will share with each other. Okay, like this. Now in this case it will be formed like this and S2 is formed. So this is a single dash, it is used. Single dash means there are two electrons which are shared between each other, one electron with each other to form a hydrogen molecule. So what is this? It is a hydrogen molecule with single covalent bond. Okay, so types of covalent bond, what we have studied, it is a single covalent bond. And another type of covalent bond is the bond formed by sharing two pair of electrons. Okay, that means both two atoms, they are sharing two electron with each other to form a covalent compound. That type of compound is known as double covalent bond. The bond which is formed by sharing two pair of electrons between two atoms is known as double covalent bond, and they are indicated by double dash. Okay, they are indicated by double dash sign. Okay, so for here also we can take an example of oxygen. Okay, let's take an example of oxygen. Oxygen, suppose it is having how many electron? Its electronic configuration is what? 2, 6. Okay, 2, 6, and it requires 2 more electron to become stable. Okay, so in valence cell in valence cell, how many electron does it have? It have 6. Suppose we are representing by dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is one oxygen atom. Okay, and another oxygen atom is there. Okay, and it is having also how many electron? 6 electron. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they are having 6 electron in their outermost shell. Now what happened? In this case, the bond is formed between these two atoms. Okay, they will share. There are 2 electron of oxygen of this atom is shared with 2 electron of this oxygen atom. So making this whole as its atom and this whole as the atom of another oxygen atom. Okay, so if we count here for this oxygen atom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all together it has how many electron in its atom? 8. So its octet is completed. And similarly, in case of this oxygen atom, it's on 6 and 2 electron of other oxygen atom makes it 8 and becomes stable. So if it can be shown like this, oxygen having 2 electrons shared with each other has double dash is shown and oxygen is here, and this bond we can write as O2. So this is oxygen molecule. Okay, and this oxygen molecule is formed due to double covalent bond. Okay. And similarly, another type of bond is triple covalent bond. So, the bond in which okay, two atoms, they are sharing three electron with each other, that is 3 pair of electrons. Okay. So, altogether they are sharing 6 electron with each other. That type of bond is called triple covalent bond. So, that we can take in the example of nitrogen. So, other element are there, other compound are there. So, we can discuss, we will discuss in next class also about the formation of covalent bond as well as their characteristic, again we will discuss, okay, revise. And triple covalent bond I am going to show with the help of nitrogen. Okay. Nitrogen is also diatomic element like hydrogen and oxygen. In the nature they are found in the form of molecule in the form of diatom, 2 atom, okay, to N2. So, in case of nitrogen, what is the atomic number of nitrogen? 7. Electronic configuration is 2, 5. That means 5 electron in their valence shell and require how many electron to become stable? 3 electron. So, this nitrogen having 5 electron in valence shell gets help from another nitrogen having also 5 electron its valence shell. Okay. Now, what they will do? They will share. So, this hydrogen atom will share the electron with other nitrogen atom. It will share like this. So, both of them they will share the nitrogen electron of one nitrogen is shared with electron of another. So, 3 electron they will share, and in this way this completes the octet and this also completes the octet. So, in this way we can write this nitrogen as like this, and triple bond is there and it forms a N2 molecule. So, this is the triple covalent bond. So, how it is formed? Triple covalent bond exists between the nitrogen. So, this is the structure of the nitrogen, how it is formed, covalent bond. Okay. Is it clear? So, now let us see in the slide once again. Okay. So, types of covalent bond. So, single covalent bond, the type of covalent bond formed by sharing of one pair of electrons or 2 electrons between 2 atoms is called single covalent bond, and it is represented by one dash between the combining atoms. So, example S dash H, it gives S2, and the structure how it is formed, it is shown there. Okay. They are sharing the hydrogen atom together, okay, 1 each, and the hydrogen molecule is formed. So, this is an example of what type of bond? Single covalent bond. Okay. Now, next example or next type is double covalent bond. Okay. Next slide. So, double covalent bond, the type of covalent bond formed by the sharing of 2 pair of electrons or 4 electrons between 2 atoms is called double covalent bond. So, it is represented by double dash between the combining atom. Example is O2. So, the diagram is representing how the double covalent bond is formed in oxygen. Okay. Now, next slide. So, another type is triple covalent bond. The type of covalent bond formed by the sharing of 3 pair of electron or 6 electrons between the 2 atoms is called triple covalent bond, and it is represented by triple dash between the combining atom, and the example is given nitrogen, and how the nitrogen is sharing their electron is shown in that diagram. Once look carefully, so you can find how the electron is shared and the compound nitrogen is formed. Okay. And the last slide. Okay. So, just now we have completed the study of ionic compound and covalent compounds. So, what are the differences between them is shown in this slide. So, what is the difference? Ionic compound are formed by transfer of valence electrons, whereas covalent compound are formed by the sharing of electrons between the atom. And second point is that ionic compound, they have high melting and boiling point, whereas covalent compound have low melting point. Okay, why it is so, we have discussed earlier. And in ionic compound, they are generally made up of metal and non-metal. So, to identify ionic compound, if we find one compound is composed of metal and non-metal, that is ionic compound, and the one which is made of that is non-metal, both the atom are non-metal, then that is called the covalent compound. Okay. So, today we have discussed about the covalent bond, characteristic of covalent bond, types of covalent bond, and little bit about the formation of the covalent bond. So, tomorrow again I will start with the formation of different covalent bond. Okay. Then we will discuss about the dative bond and the molecular formula. For today, this much. Thank you.